Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very best of NBCares Silver Linings. I'm Sandy Newton. We hope all of you are well and staying safe. You know, during these uncertain times, as we all navigate these new waters together, we wanted to share inspiring stories of people making a difference, reaching out to help one another, and going above and beyond the call of duty just to lend a hand. We decided to call them Silver Linings because, well, they are. They're silver linings. They're good deeds and kindnesses from friends and strangers alike that we're seeing all around us every single day. You know, we live in a very special place with some very special people, so we wanted to share some of their inspiring stories during these difficult times. We hope you enjoy these silver linings.
United Cerebral Palsy Inland Empire has been helping our Valley residents with special needs since 1985. UCPIE currently reaches hundreds of local families, helping in countless ways to enhance and improve lives. They have 7 after-school programs, family counseling, a Paralympic karate program, an adaptive bike program, and so much more. So many silver linings, even in this uncertain time.
I've been wanting to talk to both of you for so long because I know when you talk about silver linings, I think UCPIE is all about silver linings for our community. Thank you really so much for all you do for so many in our community. And right off the bat, I'll ask you, Demetrius, you know, I think that people might be under the misconception that UCPIE, which stands for United Cerebral Palsy of Inland Empire, is only for those who are challenged with cerebral palsy. But in fact, that's not correct.
No, that's not correct. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's real important that people understand that with the well over 300 families that we serve across the Coachella Valley, these are kids and they have any and all special needs. So cerebral palsy, yes, but also autism, epilepsy, Down syndrome, and many other special needs. We reach out to the entire community.
You guys are everywhere in the Valley and you do so much, and so much of it is so fun and engaging. Tell me a little bit about how you really do keep your outreach so much fun.
And it is all about fun. I have a philosophy as the CEO that if it's not fun, we really don't want to do it because we want to have an outcome of fun for everyone. And that's what we tend to do. Our respite program, which is our biggest program, we serve over 230 families. And when we had to close for just 2 weeks during the period of uncertainty, we then started retraining our employees. They're essential workers and they're on the front line, and they were trained to be able to get back to work, and they're with our families.
We still have our karate program.
Yes!
Our sensei, Kanedo, she is giving virtual karate lessons. We still have yoga.
And it's the happiness that is the silver lining for me. Everyone is happy. People aren't looking at this as a bad, down time. They're looking at it from a joyful position and seeing the joy and the happiness of the whole thing. Silver lining.
Woo! Kristin Olson has been practicing yoga since 1976. She knows the power of a good practice, how it heals both body and mind. And when the pandemic hit and Kristin had to close her popular and beloved urban yoga studio located at Desert AIDS Project, she knew she somehow had to continue her classes. Well, enter Zoom. It has now become her silver lining.
I know you're such an amazing yogi and you share your magic. And tell me though, what made you decide that you really needed to get online and keep all of your clients and people who really wanted to keep their practice going with you virtually?
Well, it's such an amazing time, and I think I just started right away with the Desert AIDS Project 12 noon Tuesday, Thursday class, which has been going on for years and years. Nobody's a professional yogi except in their spirit and in their breath. That's not about the poses. So there was this need to really bring everyone together. I think we've all felt that.
It's such a reboot for the whole globe, and I think if what we can take away is that it really all just is about connections and love and people and just trying to prioritize, maybe reprioritize if we've been kind of off kilter. But I know, especially for DAP, for Desert AIDS Project, that must be so wonderful for them to be able to keep up, as you said, that practice, which has become a ritual for them and really part of their entire wellness program.
Well, for sure, that's a yes. But there's also so much talk about breathing, in the hospitals, and that's the issue, is the breath, and breath is life, and it's the main deal. When you leave the womb, that first breath is the key, and the cessation of breath is separation of body and spirit. But it's been, I think, comforting for everyone, and I think globally it's comforting for everyone.
For you personally, Kristin, what has been the silver lining?
Because we're all just, our hearts are ripped open and we're just embracing each other and the world and everyone who's doing so much service and running around, scampering around, doing just incredible things. So
thank you so much. And I feel like I have to end with a namaste.
Oh, namaste, Sandy. Thank you.
As a way of dealing with his grief after losing his mother, magician Dean Apple and his wife decided to bring joy and a little fun to children in our community online at no cost. Deborah Apple is a popular second-grade teacher in our valley, and Dean is a successful professional magician. The gift they're bringing to children is, well, magical, and it's their silver lining.
Thank you so much for letting us tell your story, Deborah and Dean. I think I told you that it means a lot to me because my dad was actually a professional magician. So this means so much to me. And I love that we're in your magic room, it looks like. Tell me, what was the inspiration for deciding to share magic with kids online?
We were thinking, what can we do to help? What can we do to just take a little pressure off the parents, get the kids connected in a fun and engaging way, and do something creative? And it just seems so obvious, we got to do this.
I think we just wanted to let the kids know it's going to be okay that you're stuck at home here. And magic is a way to do that, a vehicle to do that. And what we found, the magic itself became the misdirection for the kiddos.
Each week we push out a video. We do a magic show on Fridays. We've been doing it kind of through this transition. And then on Wednesdays, we do a Wednesday workshop. Mm-hmm. And the workshop is when Dean actually teaches the kids how to do magic with household items. And the whole idea is that we'll put together a show. And so he's teaching them how to transition from one little illusion to the next. And then at the end, they get to do a show, their parents videotape it, and they get to send it to their loved ones.
That's the ultimate goal. Share the magic. I want to teach you kids how to do a few routines, 2 or 3 or 4, that can be filmed and sent to your loved ones that may be apart because of the quarantine.
What has been the silver lining for you in all of this?
When they learn these routines, some of the lessons they learn are things like confidence, stage presence, eye-hand coordination, voice projection. It gets them connected. I think the real magic is the connection that they get from entertaining other people. And it can be virtual like this, but I think the real magic is that connection that they share.
Thank you both so much. So grateful for what you're doing for our community. And who knows, you just might inspire a future Houdini out there. For NBC Cares Silver Linings, I'm Sandy Newton.
One 100% of their profits benefit compassionate care at Desert AIDS Project. As with so many businesses, the 3 Revival stores in our valley, located in Palm Desert, Cathedral City, and Palm Springs, have all been closed due to the pandemic. But they've now all reopened for business, and as Stephen Henke tells us, whether you shop, donate, or volunteer, you're helping our community in this serious time of need. A true silver lining.
I know that you have some exciting news about Revivals that is actually going to revive a cash flow for Desert AIDS Project.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Revivals finally reopened. And, after being closed for 70 days, like so many of our fellow merchants across this valley, we closed because of community health. We closed to be responsible, but we've missed the opportunity to connect with our customers and our volunteers and our staff. And so we reopened, and we are full of treasure. But we made some changes to the store to provide a safe shopping environment, and our stores are now back up, and we're able to invite people back in to help fundraise for Desert AIDS Project.
But this is a great way for the community to help Desert AIDS Project and actually walk out with the treasure.
Yeah, that's true. Desert AIDS Project is home to primary care, behavioral health care, HIV specialty care, back to work programs, so many other social service programs, and they impact the lives of 7,000 of our neighbors. Revivals alone last year donated $1.3 million to support that work at Desert AIDS Project.
And tell me a little bit about this new concept you have where, because we're spending so much time at home, we're repurposing rooms for other reasons now.
Yeah. So our new campaign that we just launched is called Home Means More Now. We know everyone is doing what you and I are doing, right? We've turned our living rooms into concert halls. We're watching virtual events on our television. Nurseries have become yoga studios, and our coworkers are now also our dogs. And so Home Means More Now really is the message that we need some new solutions, right? Our home is pulling double duty in some cases. I know for me, my home office isn't what it ought to be. And I was very excited to be able to go back into Revivals and buy a new desk.
Such great news that Revivals is back open, one of my favorite places to look for great items.
What can you say? Find yourself at Revivals.
The period's not up, Hargensen.
Betty Buckley has been called a national treasure. As a performer, she's done it all. She won the Tony in 1983 for her now iconic performance as Grisabella in the musical Cats. She warmed hearts as a stepmom in the hit television show 8 is Enough for 5 seasons. Countless film and TV and stage performances have followed, and she is still going strong. Her heart is as big as her native Texas, and when Desert AIDS Project reached out to her to be part of their upcoming Voices for Hope virtual concert, she jumped at the chance.
So great to see you, and I feel like I can say Betty Lynn because of our Texas connection.
Absolutely, you have to, yeah.
Well, we are so excited to have you part of our wonderful fundraiser for Desert AIDS Project.
So this project is amazing, and what Desert AIDS Project does for people of various races and people that have AIDS or have medical challenges and various ages. People that are homeless, they help them. They help people get medical care, and it's amazing. And they've grown and grown and grown since I think they started in 1984 and have grown since then. So I'm really honored to be a part of it.
Tell me how you've managed to kind of stay busy and keep everything kind of lubricated and working.
Well, from the beginning, when we were in New York, my second week of my engagement at the Cafe Carlyle was canceled. So my wonderful assistant of 20 years, Kathy, and I just elected to drive home. Despite our best efforts, both of us got very sick on the return. Kathy tested positive for COVID and was really sicker than I've ever seen her. And she lives in the guest house on my ranch. So we were communicating from the yard. I was sick too, not as sick as she was, but I tested negative for COVID, although I feel it was a really unusual version of illness that I've never quite had before. So I sensed that perhaps those tests were inconclusive or, not, or a false negative.
Through all of this, what has been your silver lining? Is there just one silver lining, or have there been so many?
Well, I'm really blessed to live on this ranch. It's like living on a park, in a park. In fact, people that have come to visit me says, "Oh my God, you live in a park. It's beautiful, and there are trees and wildlife and stuff." And so just taking a walk here is very inspirational. I do believe it's about, things that have been underneath our culture for a long time coming to the surface for us to really see it so boldly that we're inspired to choose again and to say no to cruelty, no to inhumanity.
Vanna White.
For over 3 decades, she's been America's sweetheart. Beautiful Vanna White has worn thousands of gorgeous gowns, turned tens of thousands of letters, and charmed millions of fans around the world. But like the rest of us, she has had to stay at home during the pandemic, away from her puzzle board and Pat. So we wanted to find out, what has her silver lining been?
You are the person everybody wants to hear from because we love Wheel of Fortune so much, and we're so concerned. We want to make sure you're all safe, you're all healthy, and we want to know the future of Wheel. But first of all, how are you doing personally? You look great, so you must be super healthy.
Oh, well, I'm trying, I go for walks every day. I exercise. I just try to get outside a little bit. But otherwise, other than going to the grocery store, I've pretty much been home.
Let's talk about Wheel, because of course we're all concerned. We want to make sure you're all healthy and happy, but what is the future? How will it work out for you?
Well, obviously we're not shooting right now. We haven't shot for several months now, but hopefully we'll be going back in the next month or two. I've heard that they're kind of rearranging the set to have distancing and so forth. So they're kind of making some modifications on our set. And I'm assuming when we go back, we probably won't have an audience.
You look fabulous as always, but are you missing some of those glamorous dresses and all of that fabulous wardrobe?
No, I don't miss the dresses, of course. I mean, they are fun to wear, but it's kind of nice to have my slippers on and, and be comfortable.
I think I know what your silver lining is in all of this, but what is your silver lining?
My silver lining is that I have both of my kids at home right now. Hey kids, are you around? Can y'all pop in and say hi?
I think G's making some food right now.
G's making some food right now. Well, here's Nico.
Hey there.
There's my son, Nico.
To have them back is really this unbelievable blessing, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's great for us to all be together and reminisce about old times and be together as family. But I'm sure, they'll be happy to be back in their normal lives once this is over.
The family meals and the board games and just good times together. I think that is something in our busy lives we were missing. And it's such a beautiful, as I look at you and realize, oh my gosh, I've known the two of you guys since you were little. And then
we used to have a play group together for many, many years. When they were, 6 months old, we started it? When your son?
Exactly. Exactly. And your mom has not aged, guys. How is that possible? Your mom's her age.
No.
And thank you as always. We say be well, stay safe, and sending you much love. And can't wait to see Wheel back on the air with new episodes, but more importantly, so happy that you're with your family.
Sandy.
Thank you.
He's an award-winning broadcast journalist, musician, television host, and now add best-selling author to the impressive resume of John Tesh. His new book, Relentless: Unleashing a Life of Purpose, Grit, and Faith, was released just as the COVID-19 pandemic hit. He was unsure of the timing, but it turns out the lessons he learned and shares in the memoir have now become his current silver lining.
Thank you so much, John, for joining us. You know, of all the people I know, you are one of the most positive, also one of the busiest, but you, like the rest of us, of course, are quarantined and you're staying at home. So with your positivity and your faith, and I know all the light you have around you, how are you getting through these times?
You know, it's not fair, because I already trained for this by going through a 3-year rather battle with what was diagnosed as terminal cancer. As far as being positive, yeah, it's really the only choice. You know, that's one of the things that I'm always talking about is you almost have to approach it. I'm not a Navy SEAL, but I read a lot of Navy SEAL books, you know, and you have to sort of approach it with, okay, what's the mission? A, and then B, what's the process? And then you go to Martin Luther King Jr., who said, don't see the whole staircase, just take the first step in faith. You know, Connie dropped everything, and she is fierce. And if she hadn't been an advocate for me, and if she hadn't helped us discover what ended up being divine healing, which is, you know, settling on certain healing scriptures, I just wouldn't have made it. You know, you and I worked together for years on the one-on-one show, but then you and Connie are besties. And so you know Connie well enough to know that her grace comes from Cher in Moonstruck, where if I'm having a bad day, she just looks at me like Cher looked at Nick Cage and says, "Snap out of it." You know, I don't get much anything other than that. And it's good for me.
The silver lining, of course, is the beautiful book Relentless that you wrote, which is just getting incredible reviews, and I recommend everyone reading it because it really does, even now, become so relevant as far as just persevering through adversity.
Yeah, you'll find I tell people they'll find a piece of themselves in the book, and you find a piece of yourself in the struggles and in the victories and in the faith and in the lack of faith and in the doubt and perseverance and grit, all of that. You find a piece of yourself in that, and you use that to move forward. And you know, it's when you get to a certain age, you understand that it's not about money, it's not about Emmys or trophies or anything. It's about if you can touch somebody and just give this much encouragement, then you walk away from that event, you know, understanding what your purpose is.
Well, there you have it. What an inspiring assortment of true silver linings. You know, the world as we know has definitely shifted, but hopefully we will be able to continue to be kind, to help one another, to be tolerant and compassionate. And what was once just a few individual good deeds will resonate and ripple throughout our globe, and we will move humanity forward for the good. So friends, be well, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to look for those silver linings. Thank you for watching. For NBC Cares Silver Linings, I'm Sandy Newton.